But just know you have to put in work, especially the beginning. In the beginning, it's gonna be days where you don't make any money, and you're gonna feel like giving up. A lot of people do give up, and guess when? At the beginning stage, because you really do have to put in work, man. What's good, man? You are sitting with me, Dedrick, and I represent 83 Finance. Okay, we're a financial literacy company, and we cover mainly the basics of financial literacy. But of course, in some sectors of financial literacy, we do dive into the more advanced things as well. So, thank you for watching. First and foremost, I know it's been a minute since I dropped the video. It's been almost 2 months, if not 2 months. And I just had to reposition myself mentally and spiritually. I had to get myself together. I ain't go through nothing terrible, but just had to get myself together. But we back, man. We back and we better. Let's do it, man. So this video is for my entrepreneurs. All right. When I say entrepreneurs, I'm talking about people that work for themselves. They got their own business going on. They create their own products, or they have their own name. Now, really, it's for the people that are thinking about becoming entrepreneurs. So I just want to give you an insight on what it is to be an entrepreneur. Okay? So, first of all, you hear a lot of people say, oh, you get to make your own schedule. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you can leave whenever you want to. Oh, you can take vacation whenever you want to. That is a double-edged sword. All right? If you don't already have your business established to where you have a staff and you don't have to be there, which if you're an entrepreneur, it's probably not going to be like that. At that point, you're a business owner. But as an entrepreneur, if you don't go to work, you don't make money. You don't have PTO. It's just you. Now, like I said, if you already got it established to where, like, you got a staff and all this stuff, you're really a business owner at that point, but that's really the only way you can leave work and you'll still be okay. You're still making money. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, that's a double-edged sword. You have to be there to make money. And then another thing is the payroll. So when you have a regular job, you punch in a clock or you have a time clock and it automatically, you know what you're going to make. You have your schedule set, because I hear a lot of y'all complain about the schedule. I used to complain about it when I worked too. But you look at the schedule like, man, they put me on for too many days or they ain't give me enough days. So right then and there, you already know how much money you're going to make. As an entrepreneur, you do not know that. You don't know. So I'm a barber. So overall, I do well. I do okay. I'm content. Of course, I want more. But there's some weeks where it's like, I'm good. Man, we straight. That was a good week. There's some weeks I can't complain because it's not bad, but it's like, man, kind of stacking. You know what I'm saying? But that's an entrepreneur. You never know what you're going to get. One week you can make $1,500, $1,700, $1,800. The next week you might make $1,000. You might make $800. And don't let you be starting out. That's how it is starting out, especially. In some weeks you're like, whoo, it hits you upside the head. But that's what it's about, being an entrepreneur. Assessing the situation. Like, man, this week I did slack off in promoting myself. Or I did take off work. I did take off a little earlier. I did come in a little later. You know what I'm saying? I was slacking. You can assess the situation if you're a good entrepreneur. So that's what it's about. It's not as sweet as everybody make it seem. It's sweet nevertheless because you're doing your own thing. But if you're lazy, I will say do not become an entrepreneur because you definitely have to put in work. When you're working for a company, your payroll is automatic. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to do anything extra such as promote yourself or anything of that nature. You don't have to hand out business cards or none of that. You got your schedule, ahead of time. Like, you already know what it's gonna be. You know how much money you're gonna make. And then you got PTO. You got benefits, period. That's another thing. As an entrepreneur, you do not have benefits. There is no insurance. There is no 401k. None of that stuff. PTO, dental, vision. You don't have none of that as an entrepreneur. That's why I tell people all the time, this is sweet. If you're not lazy, you actually put in the work, it's gonna pay dividends. But man, if you're lazy, don't even become an entrepreneur. This is not what you want. You don't want these problems. And a lot of times, when you get off work, you're still working. Like me, when I get off, when I make it home, I'm probably gonna edit a video and try to promote myself. So I'm still working. I might even pass out some cards. I did it especially in the beginning. So even when you're off, you're still working. So it's not for the weak, man. I promise it's not. And then another thing, when you're an entrepreneur, there is no more tax refunds. You don't get tax refunds. You're paying taxes. You're paying taxes. And it can hurt too, especially if you're trying to get a house. My entrepreneurs, if you are trying to get a house, please report your income. Please. It's going to screw you in the long run. I know a lot of people that hid their income, and then when it was trying to get a house, when it was time to get a house, oh, sir, you only make this amount each year, and we can't approve you for that. You know what I'm saying? So it's a double-edged sword. The things y'all think are sweet, it's a double-edged sword. Now, you know, it's ways around that because you can set up an entity like a S Corp, C Corp, or LLC. You know what I'm saying? You can set that up, and then it does have tax benefits. Now, if you're trying to get a house, you're still going to have to report some income, and you're still going to have to pay taxes. But if you manage your money right, you're straight. If you manage your money and don't act like a drug dealer, don't act like a superstar, a rapper, you making this bread, and then you just spending it lavishly. You know what I'm saying? No. Save that money because you're going to have to pay taxes. All right? Save that money because you got to pay for your own expenses. Save that money because you have to pay for your own benefits. And as an entrepreneur, I suggest you go ahead, set up an IRA, either Roth or traditional, it's up to you. Set up an IRA, an individual retirement account, because you don't have a 401k plan. Go ahead and get you some insurance. And definitely get some life insurance. Definitely get some life insurance. So, as an entrepreneur, you have to pay for your own benefits, but it's cool. You manage your money right, and then you set all that stuff up, man. You pretty much good. You still don't got PTO. It's really nothing you can do about the PTO part. But other than that, man, you really straight. You can pay for your own benefits. Once you get established, you're on your feet, and you got a steady cash flow, straight, you can pay for your own benefits. But just know you have to put in work. Especially the beginning. In the beginning, it's going to be days where you don't make any money. And you're going to feel like giving up. You know, a lot of people do give up. And guess when? At the beginning stage. Because you really do have to put in work, man. For real. I know barbers that have got second jobs because it wasn't kicking in like it was. I know barbers that got jobs just for the benefits. But just know, as an entrepreneur, it's not as sweet as it seems. It is, but it's not. So just wanted to put out a disclaimer on that, you know, because that's been on my mind for a while. A lot of people ask me about being an entrepreneur, specifically being a barber, but being an entrepreneur, working for yourself. It has pros and cons just like everything else. So just figure out what it is you really want to do. Are you lazy? And sometimes there's nothing wrong with being lazy. As long as you go to work and do what you're supposed to do, it's cool. But just figure out what it is you really want before you try to become an entrepreneur. Just know you got to put in work. But once you put that work in, you get established, it's sweet, man. It's sweet. But yeah, that's it, man. I just had to put that bug in your ear real quick. I appreciate you for watching. And hopefully you learned something. Hopefully I opened your eyes and, you know, you learned something new. But yeah, man, that's it. You know, Appreciate you watching, and until next time, I see you.